Let's look at a parameter query. I'll open my owner's query again in Design View. And this time where it says owner state in the criteria area, I am going to create something that's going to prompt me to enter in the state I want when I run the query. I can enter in the state and then it'll return the right records. So to do that, I have to use the brackets. So I'm going to put brackets and type in the words that I want to show when you run the query. So what I've typed in is enter CO for Colorado or UT for Utah, and I've put it in brackets. So now when I run this query, watch what happens. This box pops up and I have to decide, do I want UT records for Utah records and click OK? Or do I want CO for Colorado? And it returns Colorado. This is actually a very handy thing. We'll go ahead and save it, and then I'll show you how it is normally used when you are working with a database. You probably have encountered this before. So I'll go ahead and go to File, Save As, Save Object As, because this is just an object in our database, and hit my Save As button and type in owner state query. And remember, the only reason why I have to do this way, the save as, is because I haven't created a new query. I've altered one that was already existing. I'll go ahead and close the query, and this is the scenario that you would use it. Say your boss tells you, I need all the records of everybody that lives in Vermont or Utah because we need to send out a flyer that reminds them to get their rabies shot or something like that. So I come over here to the owner state query. It prompts me to enter in Colorado or Utah. I'll enter in Utah, and here are the people that I need to contact. Anything that is in those brackets is what pops up in the box when I run the query. So notice that this doesn't have brackets. It's everything inside the brackets that creates the parameter query. Let's create some queries that use numbers. I'll go to my Create tab, and I'm going to go to Query Design. I want to select the tables I want included in my query. In this case, treatment cost. So I'll click on that and click Add, and close the Show Table box. I'll go ahead and resize this so I can make sure I see all the fields for treatment cost. And then remember, you double click on something to add it to your query. So let's double click on treatment number, treatment, animal type, and cost. If you make a mistake, you can highlight the field and hit your delete key to delete it out. Let's go down and try and find out anything that costs $25. So for cost, under criteria, I'm going to type in 25. I'll run the query, and you'll notice it will return back 3 things that cost $25. I'll go ahead and save this query. I can do my quick save because it's a brand new query that I have created, but feel free to do File Save As if it makes you more comfortable. Make sure you're not saving over queries. All right, let's try a different one. Let's try one with comparisons. So we are going to use a comparison and compare 2 things in our query. We are going to use the appointments table. So I'll click on it, click Add, and then close out. Resize the appointments table so I can see everything, and add appointment date, appointment time, treatment number, veterinarian, and patient ID. Notice that they aren't in the same order as in this table. Order does matter, so make sure you follow the directions carefully. Then for appointment date, I want to find anybody that has an appointment after June 30th. So I'll type in greater than sign and then the date, and this is 2021, like that. under appointment date. I'll go ahead and run the query, and you'll see I have 2 appointments after June 30th. Let me go ahead and save this query. There we go. All right, I'll close out of it. Now let's talk about compound criteria. Compound criteria means that you're going to be comparing 2 things. So you're going to be either using and or. For and, all the criteria must be true for a record to be returned. For or, if either of the criterion is true, the record will return. Well, let's make a little sense of that. Let's start a new query. We'll do query design, include the appointments table. Close out of that, and then I want appointment date, appointment time, treatment number, veterinarian, and owner. And then I'll go ahead and put the criteria in for the appointment date after or greater than 6/30/2021. Now, I want to know who has an appointment after 6/30 who also has the veterinarian BO or B01. So I'll come to where it says veterinarian, same row in the criterion row, same row, and type in B01. The reason why this is going in the same row is because it is an and query. Both of these things must be true for the record to be returned. So it has to be an appointment after June 30th and for veterinarian B01. I'll hit run and you'll notice there's only one record returned. I'll go ahead and save that. Oh, and when you look at this record, notice that the appointment date is after 6/30 and it is veterinarian B01. So both things are present because this is an and query. I'll go ahead and save my query. Now let's look at combining criteria with or. So remember, this means that one or the other things in the criteria has to be true. Let's make a new query. So create query design. For this one, we are adding the appointments table. And the fields that we want is appointment date, appointment time, treatment number, veterinarian, and owner. And then we'll go ahead for our criteria and put greater than 6/30/2021. Now this time we are going to look for any appointments that are either after 6/30 or they are for the veterinarian B01. So only one of these things has to be true this time, which means we'll have more records returned, probably. So I'll go ahead and hit run, and you'll notice I do have a lot more records returned. And if you'll notice my appointment dates, some of them are after 6/30, but some are not, like this 1/10/2001. But that's because it's still veterinarian B01. Only one of these things had to be true. So for this G01, that date would have to be after 6/30. So that is an OR query. Only one thing has to be true in an OR query. I do want to go back and look at the design view. Notice I've put it on the OR line. I'm not sure if I pointed that out. On the OR line for veterinarian. So it's either this or that. I'll go ahead and save my query. Let's look at sorting the data that returns in a query. I'll create a new query. So query design, and it's going to be based on the treatment cost table. And the fields I want to add are treatment, cost, and then if you notice right here in this line, there is a sort row. If I click in it, I get a drop-down box. So if I want to sort by treatment cost in ascending order, I can click on it and hit run. and it will return back the cost from least to greatest. So sorting happens on this row in the design view. Make sure you sort by the correct field. I'll go ahead and save this query. Now, at this point, we're on page AC2 24 in your chapter, and the rest of the chapter talks about things that are not going to be on your test. So if you would like to go through the chapter on your own, that is perfectly fine. Otherwise, we are going to stop here. I'll see you in class.